let go and let God is the center of my happiness. Advice would you give to someone who's struggling with life? I am a makeup artist based in Enugu. I feel like at some point we all could be struggling with life. Products will keep exhausting. We need to keep buying products, and of course the money. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is sylvi.aokafor. If this is your first time coming across my video on my YouTube channel, you're most highly welcome. Please stay subscribed, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. On today's video, we're going to be doing a Q&A. So I put on my Instagram poll for you guys to ask me questions. I don't have much followers on Instagram, so I didn't get much questions from there. I then asked an AI to ask me question. I asked it's just like I chat with him or with the AI on WhatsApp. So I asked it to ask me questions, and it did ask me a couple of questions, so I'm going to be answering those questions, and I hope you find it interesting. Let's get this video started. So it's to ask me questions based on life in general, school, business, everything, and it sure did. It delivered, even though the questions came in the same pattern, but it still delivered. So let me start with life in general. So the first question here is, what's the best piece of life advice you've ever received? So I'll say that the best piece of advice I've ever received is to let go and let God. Like, that thing has helped me. The fact that when I'm feeling very anxious, when I'm feeling so like overwhelmed, like, not to dwell on it, because you tend to overthink a lot of things, you keep worrying, but when you decide to let go of all those things and let God, somehow God just straightens all crooked roads. God just makes it work out. Like, so that's the best piece of advice anyone has. Like, I think I got it from a priest, like just from a sermon or something, and honestly, try and implement that thing. Is a life changer. Like, I know it's hard, especially when you're going through a lot. Like, you just can't help, especially when you're feeling so anxious, you just can't help. You want to overthink this thing, you want to just like, but just try and ask the Holy Spirit, help me to put and hand all these things over to God. Let go and let God. I promise you, it's a life changer. What's the most important lesson you've learned from your life so far? The most important lesson I've learned from my life so far is that I need God. Like, I 100% need God. Like, in everything, in everywhere. Like, I need God. God is the center of my happiness. God is everything that I need, and that is the most important thing that I've learned. I learned that I really need God. I shouldn't try to do certain things by myself. I should always try to just have an intimate, amazing relationship with God. That is the lesson that I've learned so far in life. What's the best thing about being alive? I think the best thing about being alive is just the fact that you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Is the scariest thing and the best thing about being alive, because the fact that you don't know what will happen, your life could change within a month, in a week. You could like go from worse to good, and you could go from good to bad. Like, that is the most amazing, the best thing about being alive, and the scariest thing about being alive. The fact that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and the fact that you just get to live with your family members, with the people you love, and just live in the moment, like share amazing memories with people. I feel like that's the most important and the best part of being alive. Just being able to live life with your loved ones. That's the best thing about being alive. So the next question here says, how do you maintain a positive outlook on life? Honestly, it's very, very hard to maintain a positive outlook on life. Like, it's difficult, especially when, like, I feel like recently I've been having more anxiety, and it's really hard. But honestly, just knowing that God will make your way, like, I just know God is going to figure it out for me. Like, I just know everything is going to be alright. I feel like that just helps me have a positive outlook on life, knowing that God will provide all my needs, and God will always come through for me, like no matter what. So that always makes me have a positive outlook on life, knowing that God will never abandon me. So yes, that is how I maintain a positive outlook on life. So the next question is, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with life? It's really not easy. I feel like at some point we all could be struggling with life, no matter how young or how old you are. People tend to feel like since you're younger, you're not really dealing with life or something like that. I've heard of a story of a 15-year-old boy that committed suicide. Like, people are really going through a lot. So my advice to you is to, like, I'm going to give you the best advice that I've ever received, and that is to let go and let God. I know a lot is going on with you right now. You may have not figured out life, and I really don't know what's going on, but just let go and let God. It's going to be really hard, but ask the Holy Spirit to give you the grace to let God handle your life for you. Also try to take life one step at a time. Just know that this phase you are in is not going to be like that forever. Nothing is permanent in this life. So as you're currently struggling, no, believe, have hope. Hope is really what makes us live, because we have hope that it's going to get better. No matter what you're going through, have hope. Have that hope that it's going to get better. It's not always going to be like this. So yes, that would be my best, or that would be the advice I would give to someone who is struggling with life right now. What is people's assumption about you? I think that people think that I'm sportive because I'm slim. I'm actually not. I'm not sportive. I can't jump, I can't run, I can't do anything. Even walking is a problem. Please, I can walk, oh, don't mind me. But the most interesting thing about me is that I am not sportive. I am not as fit as you think. I'm just slim. This is my nature. It doesn't mean I'm fit, okay? So what's the thing you're most proud of? The thing I'm most proud of is myself. Like, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of how determined I can be and how persistent I can be. It's really not easy, but I'm proud of myself for trying to be better. I feel like like that's one thing I always know, that I'm not a perfectionist, but I always try to be better in everything, life, my business, school. I always try to be better, and that's why I'm so proud of myself. So what's the most interesting story from your childhood? The most interesting story from my childhood. Hey God. Okay, so there was this time that I think I was still in primary school that time. So that was during this mango season. Mango was in season that period, so I ate mango, and then like almost like 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, I drank coke. So this kind of weird. So my sister now told me that, Jesus Christ, you drank, didn't you eat mango and you're drinking coke now? You're going to die. You. That they told us in school that anybody that if you drink mango and if you eat mango and drink coke, you're going to die. Is it that the combination doesn't go well? She was now telling me that they listed names of people that died after doing that. That they told us not to dare do that thing, that I'm going to die. She was like, Jesus, you're going to die. What's guilty? She was just being very dramatic about it. So I asked my mom, like, Mommy, is it true that if I eat mango and drink coke, I'm going to die? She was like, that she don't know. She was even laughing. I'm like, this is not a joke, but I was very scared. I was trying to form James Bond for my sister. I was like, it's a lie. I don't believe it. It's not true, not true. But deep down inside there, I was very, very scared. So that day, that night, she told me actually that it was in the night that after eating those things, when you sleep, you will not wake up, that kind of thing. Like, that thing was very traumatizing. I swear that thing traumatized me. I'm just looking at it now and laughing, but then it wasn't funny. So that night, I took my rosary and I said my chaplet, I said my rosary, I read my Bible. I asked God, God, please, if you give me one chance, I don't want to die, give me one chance. I finished praying, and then the next morning, like I couldn't even sleep that night very well because I was scared, like, what if I die? Or I was trying to have faith in God, all those things. Like, this was what I was going through at such a young age. So I now, like, woke up the next after, like I couldn't really sleep. I later slept off, and then when I woke up the next morning, you just see me dancing around the house, and my sister was laughing, my mother was laughing. They were like that. It wasn't true, and I was like, Jesus, that's an expensive joke. Like, don't do that on anybody. That's so traumatizing. Like, what if I died from thinking that I'll die, not even from the coke and whatever? So yes, that's the most interesting story from my childhood. So, what's the thing that makes you happiest? What makes me happiest? I feel like I'm really easy to make happy. I can be happy and I can be sad. Like my emotions can change in milliseconds. So what makes me the happiest? I feel like when people do things for me, like when people go out of their way for me, that makes me happy. When I get what I want or what I've longed for, what I've prayed for a very long time, that makes me really, really happy. What else? Like a lot of things just really make me very happy. I'm easily happy and I'm easily upset. So what's the most random thing that has ever happened to you? What's the most random thing that has ever happened to me? I don't know. So let us go over to business. If you don't know this about me, I am a makeup artist based in Enugu and Calabar. I'm based in Calabar because I'm a student of Unique House. So yes, I'm a makeup artist ready to travel. Book me. So now let's talk about makeup artistry, the business of makeup. What's the biggest challenge you faced in your business? I feel like the biggest challenge I faced in my business should be being able to, like, get products. Like when I was starting out, I did save money for some products, but it's not enough. Like one thing about makeup, you're always going to keep buying products whether you like it or not. Your products will keep exhausting. You're going to keep buying products. So I feel like that's one of the most challenging parts. And also another challenging part of being a makeup artist is being cancelled on God. Like, why book appointment with me if you're still going to cancel? That thing is very heartbreaking and annoying. So yes, I feel like that's the biggest challenges that I have as a makeup artist. Now AI says, what's the best thing about being a makeup artist? The best thing about being a makeup artist is just definitely being able to create amazing looks on people. I love it when I finish doing makeup on someone and they love it. Like that is the best thing. Like being able to create look and I look at this work and I'm like, this work is fine. Like that's the best thing about being a makeup artist. It's so rewarding. It feels so amazing. Like like especially when your client loves your work. It's just, it makes you so happy. Like it's definitely the best part. And so what's the most rewarding part of your business? The most rewarding part of my business should be the best thing about my business. That's being able to create amazing look. That feeling is so rewarding. And of course the money. Being able to get paid for something that I'm very passionate about, because I'm very passionate about makeup. So being able to get paid for that is so amazing. Like I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. So the next question says, what's the best piece of business advice you've ever received? The best piece of business advice I've ever received is to just like be intentional with everything. Be intentional about your growth. Be intentional with every look that I create. Be intentional with my marketing strategy. Like that's the best business advice I've ever received, like from someone telling me to be intentional with every single thing that I do. So yes, that's the best business advice. Be very intentional in any business you're doing. Be very intentional with every step you take towards that business. So this question is, what's the most important lessons you've learned from your business? Most important lesson I've learned from my business is that business is not easy. Business is not for the weak. Like you see people, millionaires, you think that business, you just go into business, you make a lot of money. Business takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of like behind the scenes that you do not know. Like these people you see that are successful, they had to put in a lot of work. So that's the most important thing I've learned from business. Being able to know that life is really not easy. You have to work hard. You have to put in the work. You have to discipline yourself. what I've learned so far from my business. So the next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a makeup artist? Well, the advice I'll give to someone who wants to be a makeup artist is that you should make sure this is something that you love. Makeup can be very stressful. People really don't understand how stressful it can be. It can be slow. Your growth can be slow at times, depending. As an introvert, I feel like my growth is slow. Like your growth, I'm not talking about how you're getting beautiful looks. I'm talking about like being able to meet people, like getting clients, all of that. Make sure it's something you like, because if it's not something you like, you might easily leave it, because like it takes a lot of patience. So being a makeup artist, yeah, it takes about business, like growing from the ground, it takes a lot of patience. And I feel like if you're not, it's not something you're passionate about, you might just leave it along the line, because the money doesn't come in quick, but when the money starts coming in, the money starts coming in. So make sure it's something that you're very passionate about. Also be very intentional with every step that you'll be taking when you're doing makeup. Be very intentional about learning. Make sure that you learn from the best. Make sure you watch videos, YouTube videos. I must be very intentional, like be very invested in learning. Invest in your knowledge of makeup. Invest in good quality makeup products, because it pays off. So I guess that's it for business. So the next question is about school. So it's asking, how are you adapting to your new environment? So if you don't know, my school is far from where I grew up, so it's a really new environment for me. I've really not adapted, to be very honest. I've really not adapted. I'm still adapting. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I feel like I don't really have much friends there yet, and sometimes I feel a little bit lonely. I miss my family. It's a lot actually, but I'm getting through it. I know I'm going to get adapted eventually, but I'm doing a good job though. I'm doing a really good job. Like I'm doing a really good job when it comes to school. I'm doing a really good job in terms of adapting. It's just that I've not made friends. I know I'm not extroverted, so I can't even have lots of friends, but I've not made quite a number of friends. I really don't have friends there, so that's just it. Apart from it, every other thing, I'm getting used to the life there. It's not easy, but we are scaling through. So what's the biggest challenge you faced in school? I just feel like the early morning classes, having to read these bulk materials for exam. In fact, every single thing about being in school is the biggest challenge. Like, God, that school is being in school itself is a big challenge. Like everything there is so challenging. Like especially Nigerian university, it's so stressful, like for no good reason. What's the most rewarding part of being a student? The most rewarding part of being a student should be getting good grades. Like after you burn your midnight candle, after stressing the hell out of your life, after going to all those classes, early morning class, and then getting good grades, that's so rewarding. That feels so amazing. I honestly don't want to talk about school, because school is stressing my life out. I don't even want to think about school. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever received about school? The best piece of advice I've ever received about school should be that you should read. I know a lot of people say school is scam, school is this, but just like put in the efforts and read. I feel like that is the best advice that anyone has given me, to sit my ass down and read, and not rely on sorting or any exam of practice or any illegal means of passing. Like just sit down and read. That's the best advice anyone has given me, because it just makes you, like, once you read more, you know more, like, and it's just really amazing. Because so what's the most important lessons you've learned from schooling? I feel like the most important lesson I've learned from schooling is that I feel like the fact that you can't do life alone. No man is an island. Like when you're in school, that's when you realize that you can't do life alone. You really need as much help as you can get. You need to know a lot of people, like just people who are experienced, senior colleagues that can help you out. So yes, like realizing that you need people, I feel like that's one thing I've learned in school. I really don't have a lot of people, I really don't know a lot of people, and I don't have a lot of friends. I don't even have friends, to be honest. But like that's what I'm learning, and is pushing me to want to come out of my shell of being introverted, and be extroverted and put myself out there and meet people that could help me and all of that. And I feel like also having academic wise friends, like that's important, because they're the ones that are going to push you to go the extra mile. So the next question says, what advice would you give to a student who is just starting out? Brace yourself, get ready for the world ahead, because the world ahead is not the normal secondary school yada 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 whatever we did. Like you're going to put extra efforts if you're going to pass. Like they don't care, your lecturers don't care if they have covered up your course outline for the semester. They're still going to set questions from there, so it's up to you to read. Like it's not secondary school where they'll be like, oh, we've not taught this, so we're not going to set it in the exam. That's just that's in the past. Like brace yourself for the one ahead. So the next question says, how do you balance school with the rest of your life? Honestly, I don't balance school with the rest of my life. Once I'm in school like this, my whole life is about school. Like my whole life, and I feel like I don't like it, because I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm not adapted. Yeah, because I'm just going from my house to school, my house to school. Like I really don't, and I feel like I should have another life. I should have my social life, I should have my business life, I should have another life. But I feel like it's just because I've not adapted. I really don't know people, I don't know places, I don't want to go and get lost. So it's really like I'm getting there, but that's one thing that I'm facing right now. I really don't have a life whenever I'm in school, unless I'm at home, then I have a life. And I'm really like trying, honestly, because I was able to do like 3 vlogs, film like 3 vlogs while I was in school. I honestly never thought I would do that, because I was so preoccupied with school. How do you find this Q&A? Was it interactive? I really didn't get these questions. I really didn't get these questions from people. I got it from an AI. What do you think? Was it interactive? Did it make you to get to know me better? So if you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, I beg you in the name of God. So subscribe, share this video to your friends and families, to your group chats, anywhere that you can. Please make sure to share this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay blessed and not stressed.